Hey guys, Jez Willis here, and welcome to my 170 subscriber Q&A. Yep, it's finally arrived, like I promised, and so we did get some questions, and I've got to say, I wasn't expecting this many questions. This is more than my last Q&A, so thank you very much guys for all your questions. In total, I think we got about 24, which is unbelievable. I didn't think we'd be getting that many, so thank you for all your questions, guys. I really appreciate it. I think 13 users and 24 questions, so some of them will ask more than one question, so which I allowed. So yeah, thank you for that. But without further ado, let's get answering your questions. Okay, so the first two questions are from J-Lang TV. Now, I hope I've pronounced your name right, because, yeah, so if I do pronounce your name wrong, guys, I do apologise. I'm not very good with, like with every YouTuber, I'm not very good with name pronouncing. So, first two questions are from J-Lang TV. And his first question was, well, he asked a lot more than the two I've got down here, but he asked me 22 questions, or 24, which is kind of long, and we'll be here all day if I did, because basically I cut it down to 2, because pretty much 23 of those questions were exactly the same, and they'd be the same answer, by the way, but I picked one of them, because the others would be the same answer as this, anyway. So, yeah, so his first question, if I can, I'll try and put up the question on the screen as well, but anyway, he asked me, the first question, is Felipe faster than you? Definitely. Reason, I'm not a Formula 1 driver, he is. He's had more racing experience than I have. I've had a bit of racing experience, but he's had more, and he's a lot older, so clearly Felipe is going to be faster than me. And I'm not saying that. You know, as the fact that he had a little bit of an argument with Fernando Alonso, I'm being serious about that. Anyway, the second and final question he asked me was, what is your favourite breakfast cereal? My favourite breakfast cereal is Bran Flakes. I really love them. They are absolutely delicious. I also like Corn Flakes and maybe some others, but Bran Flakes, you can't beat Bran Flakes. Anyway, so they are all J-Lang TV's questions, so thank you very much. Okay, the next 5 questions are from StopMat1998. His first question, he asked me, do you see Robert Kubica returning to F1 anytime soon? To be honest with you, StopMat, no. The reason is because he even asked this, got asked this in a recent interview when he was doing some DTM testing around Valencia. Not the street circuit, the testing facility, because I believe they've closed off Valencia now. The street circuit, that is. He recently, or was it WRC? I think it was a WRC interview he gave. Basically, someone asked him, would you see yourself returning to Formula 1? And he said, only if they change the regulations within the cockpit, because the cockpit would not be suitable for his hand, because for those of you who don't know, he had a serious accident in 2011 in a rally accident, which nearly saw him having his hand nearly amputated, but luckily it didn't. But because of that, his arm wouldn't be suitable for a Formula 1 car. Well, the cockpit wouldn't anyway. The only way he could return is if they made the cockpit wider for him, and then he would return. But at this rate, the cockpits are the same, so I can't see Robert returning to Formula 1 anytime soon. I think he'll just stay in rallying, which he's doing right now. Okay, so the second question he asked me was, how did your exams go? I think it went okay. I think they went okay, actually. I'm hoping they're very good anyway. So yeah, I think my exams did go really okay. Sorry if you didn't hear me. I think they went okay, Matt. There, I've got a lot of subscribers who are named Matt, if you're wondering. The first question he asked me was, which is linked to the second question, what sort of grades are you expecting? C's and D's, because I'm going to be doing. I took IT in college. Whether that will be level 1 or level 2, not level 3 because I didn't take IT as an option at school. So it's either level 1 or 2. Whichever one of those levels I go to depends on the grades I get. I hope they are season Ds, which will make me to level 2, but I'm okay with level 1 if I don't get them because I'll still be in college. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I get those grades that I want. Okay, the fourth question he asked me was, will we be seeing any F1 2014 content in the future? Yes, you will be. If you go over to my second channel, which is GT5Man21, I'll leave a link in the description for you. There will be a lot. I do F1 content on there. Even a video I've got to do after this as well, which is the review of the Austrian Grand Prix, because I have to do it before Silverstone. I'll try and find some gameplay of that anyway. I'm getting off topic. Yes, you will be seeing F1 2014 content in the future. If you go over to my second channel, GT5Man21, you'll be expecting some POV of leagues and that, F1 2014 leagues, and a walkthrough. And then in the future, All Stars F1 career mode. So, yeah, lots of things to look out for there in terms of F1 2014. And the fifth question he asked me was, which is kind of a silly one, but I allowed it anyway. Do you smoke beer weed? No. I don't smoke. Apart from maybe a little bit of beer. Yes, I do drink a tiny bit of beer and wine when it comes to like Christmas and that. When it comes to smoking and drugs, I am straight edge. I don't take drugs at all. I don't know whether you know a mate or not who smokes weed, but I don't, so. Anyway, they are all Stockmat 1998's questions, thank you for that. Okay, the next question comes in, next three questions I should say, comes in from James Head. And the first question he asked me was, what are your main hobbies that you do apart from gaming? I do a bit of go-karting, and a bit of football, and a bit of tennis as well. Those three I do a bit of: go-karting, football and tennis. And I also do a little bit on computers as well, so that's 4. Apart from that, I love gaming. Number 2, the second question he asked me was, have you ever had a girlfriend? I would love to say yes, but unfortunately I have not. I've never had a girlfriend. I've just been so unlucky to find one. I hope to find one in the future, but right now, I'm happy on my own right now. And number 3, will there be any more leagues that are being created? He's saying that from me. Possibly. Depends on whether one league doesn't go very well. But right now, I can't see myself doing another league just right now. If one league doesn't go very well, like for example, if WRL didn't go very well, which it went okay, but if it goes below okay, then maybe I should consider replacing it. But right now, I can't see myself doing another league right now. Maybe in the future, but not right now. Okay, so they're all James Head's questions, so thank you very much. Okay, so the next 3 questions are from HowIGoshi345. Sorry, the next 2 questions, I would say, not next 3. And he asked me, the first question he asked me was, what was the worst punishment you received at school? Okay, I'm going to admit something here to you. I've never had a single detention ever when I've been at school. Never. How lucky am I? I've just been such a good boy, according to my school. But if I had to think of a worst punishment, I'd have to go back to year 1, I believe, Key Stage 1, where, you know when you're kids, you're asked to do a dance move. You have to do like dance, and you have to asked to do like a little dance move. Well, we had a supply teacher, and he asked us to do a little dance. So we had to choose a partner, which I did, and I think we got told to either be creative or do some particular move that we did. Me and my partner didn't listen to that. We actually just spun each other around and made ourselves quite dizzy, and we got told off. We got told to be on the step because we had a step which leads to the hall, which we were doing the lesson in, and we got told to sit on the step and think about our actions. So that's the only worst punishment I've had. I've had a little bit of punishment, but that's the worst one I've ever had. Okay, the second question he asked me was, what was your most embarrassing moment? Again, you have to go to primary school for that, but this one was in Year 6 in Key Stage 2. Basically, I'm sure you've all been asked this before. You all do a school performance in primary school when you're in Year 6. Mine, we did The Wizard of Oz, right? And a week before the 5 days, I should say, or 5 or 4 days, we were going to perform it. We did like a little run-through in front of some other kids from from Key Stage 2 as well, so Year 3, Year 4 and Year 5, one of them including my brother. As I hear somebody, it's outside, so we'll keep going. Basically, I've lost track now. Year 5, including my brother as well. Basically, it was non-uniform day on that day as well. And basically, one of my clothing, because I was playing the guard, one of my clothing that I was supposed to have was my school trousers. And I didn't know, there was a rehearsal on that day, but I forgot my school trousers. Yeah. And I was calling my mum up to say, can you bring my school trousers? But she wouldn't answer the phone. And it was only until she did eventually arrive, but it was like after, like in the middle of when I was on stage. So what did I have to do? There was no school trousers in Lost Property, so I had to wear my shorts, my jeans, I should say, which is not 1930s, I should say. So when I went on there, I was deeply embarrassed. I wasn't surprised why everybody was eyeballing me. And after when I did that, I was so embarrassed. But no one really, just went up to me and said, why were you wearing those trousers? No one really asked me that. So yeah, that is the most embarrassing moment I ever had. At school, that is. It had to be at school, my most embarrassing moment. I've had more embarrassing moments, but that was the most. And they were how I got these 2 questions. So thank you very much for that. Okay, the next 3 questions are from Mr. Joshy J. A subscriber to me since the end of 2012, so he's been a sub to me for nearly 2 years. The first question he asked me was, do you think the new F1 car should be made louder? To be honest, yes. I thought F1 was about noise. That's what everybody thinks of Formula 1 mostly. It's about sound. And what F1 has done here, although the V6 and the turbos are a good idea to mix up the order, it's made, because of the hybrid that's in them, it's made the cars quite quiet. Although they do sound like they've got a little louder, it's still quiet. So I do believe, I know there's 2 teams like Mercedes and Red Bull working together to make the engines louder. But yeah, I do think that F1 should get louder. Okay. The second question he asked me was, what do you like to see in F1 2014 video game? A lot. I would like to see a fix in the online, because although they fixed the lag barrier, there's still a few issues there's issues that have now crept up. For example, there's a lot of lagging going on, which is the worst lag I've ever seen in a video game, in the whole of the F1 franchise, I should say. And also there's another glitch on there called the side pod glitch, where you touch the person's side and you end up going off worse instead of the other opponent, which is kind of annoying. So yeah, there's stuff to fix online. A fix in the career mode, it needs to be a lot more entertaining, because it's been boring. It's like the same thing over and over again. a fix in the replays, because basically when you press the replay button, the AI always seems to go wide. So maybe a fix on that, and also the fact that lots of things I would like to see them implement. I would like to see more classic cars, especially McLarens as well, and a bit more, and teams that are no longer existing, and a variety of decades, because in 2013 we had 1980s and 1990s and one 1970s car. I think there should be a variety, so 1970s, 1980s, 1990s and the 2000s. Yeah, so, and more classic tracks. Maybe Istanbul should be on there as well. But yeah, and career mode, I think there should be, the AI should swap teams as well, apart from yourself, and we should also bring in rookies as well from like the Young Drivers Test, because they've got licenses, rookies in from different categories, because they do have licensing to some drivers from the Young Drivers Test. The Young Drivers Test is now in Silverstone, if you're wondering, but they've got the licensing to other drivers from the Young Drivers Test, such as Nicholas Prost, Robin Friggins, and I think that's how you pronounce his name, Alexander Rossi, Sam Bird, Oliver Turvey, I think Antonio Felix da Costa, and some other drivers as well. So maybe bring those in as well. And yeah, bring in some support championships. I know they can't have the licensing to GP2 and GP3, but I think maybe have their own, like the Codemasters Senior. Sorry about that, guys. My iPad ran out of storage there, which I've managed to clear. But yeah, which is why you heard me cut off there. Yeah, they need a support championship, something like, I don't know, maybe their own, like F1 Junior or F1 and F1 Senior, or Codemasters Junior Championship, and Codemasters Senior Championship, I should say, not more. And also they need a better damage model, because although they're not allowed realistic damage because they're not a simulator, it would be better if we get a better damage model than the one we got right now, because it is a bit stupid. Maybe a fix on the penalty system as well, because it is still a bit terrible, still a bit crap. And also, I think they need to get rid of the fact that every time you slow down when going wide, every time you go wide it slows you down. They maybe need to get rid of that, because whenever you're in a race, like around Spa, when you go around turn 1, you slow down when you go wide, but the AI are doing the same speed, are going a lot faster than you, which is kind of annoying. It seems like everything they fixed so far always leads to another problem. But luckily it's on PS4, so they should be able to fix a lot of stuff. And also side-by-side action in the pit lane, because nobody waits for another car to go past, clearly. There's a lot of things they need to sort out, but I'm going to be here forever, so I'm going to move on to your next question, Joshy. And that is, what do you think of standing restarts? Basically, if you don't know what he's on about there, the FIA have implemented something to F1 next year, where when the safety car goes in, every driver must go to the grid, wait for the 5 lights to go off and restart again. What I think of it is absolutely stupid. What idiot thought of that? I thought you were supposed to make the sport a lot safer, not a lot dangerous, because let's be honest, let's take Spielberg for example, or any other tracks. They've got like turn 1, their turn 1 is always a place where you're going to have crashes and a lot of excitement, especially Monza. If you're going to have standing restarts, you're going to have more crashes and more safety cars. What's the point? And also, you've got a 2-hour time limit. I thought you were supposed to stick to that time limit and not overrun it. So clearly the FIA did not think of that when they first thought of it. It's a stupid idea. Why do it? If you want to improve the restarts, do what IndyCar do. Get every car lined up in a line, in 2 separate lines, and then the leader is the man who sets off after, maybe when the green light comes on, sets off, and then the pack go off. Not have standing restarts. I know you're trying to make the sport a lot exciting, and I think you're trying a bit too hard. All the fans want is crashes, overtaking, and excitement. I know open wheelers are not supposed to have crashes, but come on. Stop trying too hard. You've got something exciting right now. Don't try and make it worse. Anyway, that's Mr. Joshy Day's question, so thank you very much for that. The next two questions are from Stato300, a subscriber of mine since last year, pretty much the backbone of my success on YouTube. The first question he asked me was, what do you think is the best sounding F1 car? I don't know what he means by that. I don't know whether he means of all time or this year, but I'm going to answer both of you right now. So I'm going to answer both of those. I think the best sounding car of all time would probably have to be the McLaren from 2000, because the sound of that car, the sound of that V10 was unbelievable. It sounded well different from any other. Like, well, I can't do it, but go on YouTube and get some footage of that McLaren 2000 car, because it sounds really good. So yeah, this year I think the Mercedes is the best sounding car. Although they all sound awful, I think the Mercedes is the best sounding car, in my opinion. I don't know whether that's your opinion, but we'll say anyway. That's my opinion anyway. So, and the second and final question he asked me was, what do you want to do when you're older? I want to get involved with something that's involving computers, because I love computers, I'm very good at them, and I want to get involved in something which involves computers. So, yeah, so that's that. I'm trying to think. Also, I would love to, so something to do with computers. Why am I saying also there? So, yeah. So there's those two questions, so thank you very much for that. So the next three questions are from RedJams08. The first question he asked me was, when will IF3C be uploaded? Like I said in yesterday's video, RedJams, when I come back off holiday, because iTunes was being an idiot on me when I tried to transfer it onto my iPad, and I was going to upload it while I was on holiday, but iTunes would not let me, so you have to wait until I get back off holiday, I'm afraid. Sorry. I know it's going to be, the races are going to be a bit behind, but I am going to try my best, because when I get back off holiday, I am going to catch up on uploading, but I am going to try my best, okay, to get all the videos uploaded and then back on target. So, yeah, that's that. So that's his first question. Second question also links to IF3C. He also asked me, will Spa be full wets? If so, Inters. Sorry guys, I just have to change camera because my iPad has run out of storage, so just using my iPhone now. Back to your question, RedJams, about will Spa be full wets? If so, Inters. Let me check actually because of my iPad. Yes, it'll be wet all weekend. Whether it'll be full wets or Inters depends. But we'll see. And the third and final question he asked me was, what inspired you to do YouTube videos? Basically, my friends got me involved into doing YouTube because pretty much they already had YouTube accounts, and I thought it'd be pretty cool. Even my brother was on YouTube before me. He set up his account in June 2011 and I started in May 2012, so he started 11 months before me. Pretty much my friends really got me involved into doing YouTube videos, and have got more subscribers than them, so because clearly I'm doing something better than them. Even though they claim they do better videos than me, which they don't, because if you look at the facts, I have more video views than them, and I have more subscribers than them. Simples. But the YouTube, onto another thing, a YouTuber who pretty much, my favourite YouTuber is pretty much KSI, because he's, well, pretty much nearly everybody's favourite YouTuber. He's really awesome. But yeah, so that inspired me. So they're all Red Jams 08's questions, so thank you very much for that. The next question, which was the only question he asked me, is from that FPM8 guy. And he asked me, when will you upload the other WRL videos like you promised to do? I did mention it in an update, FPM8. It was the update about me saying that I finished my exams. I'm not sure if you missed that or not, but I did mention it. But I'll tell you anyway. Probably after my holiday, because I hope after my holiday, because recently I had a clear up on my computer, and when I tried to export some of the videos, not the WRL ones, they weren't playable. So hopefully, fingers crossed, or is it import? I think it's import. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that's not the case with WRL. But we'll see. So yeah, thank you for that question, that FPM8 guy. The next 4 questions, one is linked to the third one, is from Ballboy57. First question he asked me, which is kind of a silly one. What weighs more, a ton of lions or a ton of feathers? What sort of question is that? It's a ton of lions. I don't know why you asked me that question. And the second one's also kind of a silly one as well. If you are in a race and you overtake the guy in second position, this is his second question if you're wondering. If you're in a race and you overtake the guy in second position, what position would you be in right now? Second. Again, what sort of question is that? Are you trying to get a joke or something? Because it's clearly not funny. But the next 2 questions were serious ones anyway, so... The third question he asked me was, apart from motorsport, what other sports are you into? Football, rugby, tennis, I'm trying to think anymore. Darts, and a bit of hockey as well. Any good at them? I'm good at hockey. I'm okay at football. I am not very good at rugby. Never good at rugby. Okay at tennis and okay at darts. So yeah, that was his 4th question actually. Are you any good at them? If you're wondering. So yeah, I pretty much answered your 4th question. Are you any good at them? So yeah, that were all 4 questions from Ballboy57. Now the last question is from a guy who's actually next door to me. He could have asked me this personally, but he wanted me to answer this in a Q&A video, and that is my brother, Super Junior 100. And this is a kind of a weird one. He told me this question was going to be a weird one, but he asked me, would you rather kiss Susan Boyle for £1 million or jump off a building with no parachute or anything, just net down the bottom? Now he wanted me to do a joke on this answer, but I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to say jump off a building with a net down the bottom, because for goodness sake, who would kiss Susan Boyle? Think of one person who would kiss Susan Boyle, alright? Because, let's be honest, Susan Boyle is not attractive. She never will be. But yeah, maybe the Stig will kiss her, but yeah, that's all the questions. That's my Q&A video. So, there are all the questions I have, guys. So thank you very much for all the questions you've given me. I really appreciate it. One of my walkthroughs actually went out today, guys, if you haven't noticed. So go and check it out. You just have to go on the channel. It's actually the previous video to this. So yeah, but apart from, because I can't be bothered to put a link down in the description for this one, but yeah, but like I said, I will put a link in the description to GT5Man21 so you can see the F1 2014 content in the future for you stock Matt. But until then, that's been my Q&A video, so I'd like to say thank you for every question that you put in. Thank you for watching, guys. I've been Joseph Willis. Please like, comment and subscribe, and until next time, cheers.